Hello student, today's topic is working conditions. As you know that clothes and other goods were produced in the Indian textile mix and after the independence of India, this industry took the wings and go forward by the a lot of steps which were taken by the government. But we should remember that these come to us because someone is working to produce them, often in very bad conditions. The government has passed a number of laws to regulate working conditions where a number of people are employed in the industries, especially coal mines alone employ 5.5 lakh workers. The Mines Act 1952 specifies the maximum number of hours a person can be made to work in a week, the need to pay overtime for any extra hours worked, and safety rules. These rules may be followed in big companies but not in smaller mines and quarries. Moreover, subcontracting is widespread. Many contractors do not maintain proper registers of workers, thus avoiding any responsibility for accidents and benefits. After mining has finished in an area, the company is supposed to cover up the open holes and restore the area to its earlier condition. But they do not do this. Workers in underground mines face very dangerous conditions due to flooding, fire, the collapse of roofs and sides, the emission of gases, and ventilation failures. Many workers develop breathing problems and diseases like tuberculosis and silicosis. Those working in overground mines have to work in both hot sun and rain and face injuries due to mine blasting, falling objects, etc. The rate of mining accidents in India is very high compared to other countries. In many industries, the workers are migrant. The fish processing plants along the coastline employ mostly single young women from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala. Young women are seen as the submissive workers. Many men also migrate silently, either unmarried or leaving their families in the village. In 1992, 85% of the 2 lakh Oriya migrants in Surat were single. These migrants have little time to socialize, and whatever little time and money they can spend is with other migrant workers. From a nation of interfering joint families, the nature of work in a globalized economy is taking people in the direction of loneliness, of vulnerability. Yet, for many young women, it also represents some independence and economic autonomy. Now, the next topic is home based work. Home based work is an important part of the economy. This includes the manufacture of lace, jari, or brocade, carpets, beads, or agarbattis, and many such products. This work is mainly done by women and children. An agent provides raw material and also picks up the finished product. Home workers are paid on a piece rate basis depending on the number of pieces they make. We can take the BD industry. The process of making BDs starts in forested villages where villagers pluck tendu leaves and sell it to the forest department or a private contractor who in turn sells it to the forest department. On average, a person can collect 100 bundles a day. The government then auctions the leaves to BD factory owners who give it to the contractors. The contractor in turn supplies tobacco and leaves to home based workers. These workers, mostly women, roll the BDs first, dampening the leaves, then cutting them, filling in tobacco evenly, and then tying them with thread. The contractor picks up these beads and sells them to the manufacturer who roasts them and puts on his own brand label. The manufacturer then sells them to a distributor who distribute the packets, packed beads to wholesalers who in turn sell to your neighborhood pan shop.